All right. Welcome back to Kamen Rider Review, episode 309. Well, we're discussing basically two more things for Fives. Well, the main series is done completely. We're just discussing a quick mini series and the 20th anniversary movie. And with these, I'm done with Fives completely. There's like nothing else for Fives. Maybe he might appear in some project, some movie that came out during Heisei Phase 2. Maybe. Depends. So first we have is Murder Case, which is a not canon miniseries. It's just a couple episodes. I was thinking of skipping this one, but given the fact this is all like the first episode is like 7 minutes, and part 2 is like 10 minutes. So combined, this is like a 20-minute special. So it's like we just bring back the cast here for this reunion special, and this was basically as a promotional piece for the 20th anniversary movie. Now, pretty much all these characters act completely different in the movie. So, we have Takumi here. We have Kotra. How he's here is not exactly... Yeah, this is an alternate universe. So I'm sure that maybe he could have survived. I have no idea what type of universe basically it's set in. So we have those two here, along with Rina, Hishiro. Yeah, these are brand new characters. And you're like, new characters? Yeah, new characters. There's kind of a reason for that. And you could say this mini series here. So we have Rina Kuromi, that is her name, which, yes, the same actress who plays her here also plays in the movie, though her character is completely different. There is Hasano. So, by the way, the actress who plays her, Rina Kuromi, she was quite young for this, though this miniseries does introduce Joto Kuchi. Who is he? He is the nephew of Kentaro, the guy, one of the supporting characters of the series. Yeah, as for why Kentaro is not here is, you probably think is a mystery. Well, there's a reason why that he is not here. The reason why he is not here, because the actor retired 4 years ago. You're like, so he retired 2 years prior to this miniseries and the movie? Yeah, and I don't know why they didn't ask him for retirement for this. This is 20 years of Fives, and yet they couldn't ask the guy the color retirement just to do this one thing. I'm sure probably they would give him a nice paycheck for it, but nope, they just let him alone. Oh, by the way, they do give an explanation here and in the movie of why Jotaro is not here. The reason, Kentaro's not here. The reason, he's on a long trip and left in the hands of Mari, Takumi, and his nephew. Yep, left in his hands. Also, the apartment looks completely... Now, the house itself looks completely different. Of course, it's been 20 years. So, of course, basically looks like there's a flat screen TV there, which... Excuse me, I don't think they use here. So... Oh, and... So, the actors who play him. So, Jotaro... is played by Denji Ikawa, which not much know about him. Of course, they're all zodiac signs here. Rina Kuromi is played by Remika Funda, who this was 2 years ago, so I'm assuming she was 19 when she did this role. And I look at this woman like she is. I don't know if she looks 19 at all. She looks a bit older. Nothing against her per se, but currently she's 21. Yeah, 21 years old. I think it's the camera that makes you look older, presumably. Haseo. He himself he was born in 98, so I'm assuming he's like a decade younger than me, so I'm assuming now he's like 28. Yeah. And this is his sole thing he ever did, just appearing in this miniseries, this movie for a commentator, and that's it. There's also Kuta, who is played by Ryosuke Hashino, and apparently he was a fan of Kamen Kabuto when he was a child. Born in 2003, probably the youngest person to cast. So I'm assuming he was. I'm guessing he was 19 as well with this particular show, with this particular miniseries in the movie. And there's Key, who is another resident of the Clean Shop. She is currently 21, and she actually did come back after, so she's the only one of these new actors who actually came back after this. Yeah, she came back in Kamen Gotchard as Sina Tatsumito, who didn't appear very much at all. Not really. Yeah. So Gotchard is actually 2 series for the current one. Yeah, that came out, I think it was in 2023. Yeah, it came out in 2023. Yeah, so we have these new characters here. We also bring this goldfish in here, which basically Mari just found it basically on the road. And Mari, now, of the 3 actors who reprised the roles in the show, Takami's actor looks like he hasn't aged very much at all. He's aged very little. Now, in the case the actor plays Masudo, who is back here. Yep. Masido. Yep, he's back here. And look at the way he looked back then. I'm looking at this picture where you look back then and look now. I'd say he's aged a little bit. I mean, the actor currently is 50. So I'd say at the time when he did this miniseries and the 20th anniversary movie, he was only like 48. So you could say, yeah, he kind of looked his age. Kind of, yes. But what about our rest of our cast here? Takami, who, like, here's the weird thing. He definitely looks like he's kind of aged a little bit. But you can definitely say, yeah, this is still the same actor just by looking at him. It's just that his face looks different. Yeah, he's got some wrinkles in his face now. Yes. Oh, at the time, basically, in story, the character is 38 years old. Yes, 38. And the actor is currently 42, which means at the time when he did the movie, when it came out, he was 40. Yeah, and he also appeared in the 4 miniseries as Fives and Shocker Leader. So, yeah, so kind of in a way with this particular movie, I've kind of got everything related to him as Takami, except for Zaya, which I will get to in the future. Don't worry about that. Yes, and so he was 40, and so at least they kept the same actor. It looks like he still kept the same hairstyle. As in the case of Mare, this is kind of weird for her. This was the first time in 20 years they've actually played the character. So, she's aged somewhat. She's not aged too badly. No. Though she did previously play the character. Where? Kamen Outsiders. They're like, really? She was in Outsiders? Yeah, and currently she's 38 years old right now, and she doesn't look too bad for her age. It's just the picture that they put on here makes look a little bit older. Also, her husband was in Kamen Gotchard. Yes. As the character of Gion. Yeah, apparently they got married in 2018, so I mean, she was probably almost 40 when she married her husband. And they have a daughter, too. Yep. So, she did come back to Kamen after this one wrapped up. She was in Kiva, and then she was in Deku, which I have seen. She was also in Zio, basically stock footage. She was in a Gimes movie. Well, it's really actually she popped up in Kamen Outsiders as Smart Queen, which she played a couple times. But for movies wise, she did come back. Now here's the thing: she did come back for this movie. She did. from what I can tell. But the cast, she for this miniseries and for the movie, she did come back. So the whole thing is like, yeah, somebody has killed this one customer who was Sergeant Ash and suspected in a Rokai, basically responsible for it. And of course, Masato is like, he's one. And Takara's like, yeah, so what? But I didn't kill him. So they wheel it down basically. A few people get killed off here. And then it's found out, oh, it's the goldfish, who turns out to be a monster. The big thing with the special is that it debuts the next fives, next Coots forms. Which Jotaro said, like, oh, it's the first time I've seen transform at the same time. Viewers have seen it several times when they watch fives. And, well, and they eliminate the monster, and they find out one of them is basically another Rokai, and that's kind of it. It's an okay miniseries. It is just a, even though yes, the miniseries ignore what the movie, but it's good fan service for people who like fives and like seeing the characters back together. Though it's kind of weird that Takami, it'd just be a lazy bum. It's like, after 20 years, he just basically just lounges around in the cleaning shop. Like, he still works there after 20 years, apparently. So, as for the movie itself, now the thing is, when I read the previous miniseries, not the murder case, but the D video Kamen 4, that apparently is set in an alternate continuity, so this movie pretty much has that ignored. So you're probably thinking, like, then what is canon when it comes to fives? From what I can tell, it seems like because the fact that continues from, I would say, presumably, yeah. I'm sure that basically getting back this particular case. Well, so the movie itself opens. So, one thing interesting though about one of the characters in the movie, and that's Tokoro, who's pretty much the only Orochi who does come back aside from Takami. He, of course, is an ally, obviously, and of all the people who actually were in the original 5 show, the other ones, now, there's a comment Delta here, except, here's the thing, that you might find interesting. It's not the same actor from the show. And you're like, really? You're probably thinking, why is that? Well, because from what I've read, the actor played Delta, the primary user of the belt. He apparently was unavailable. Yeah. What happened? Don't know. At least in the case of Kentaro, there was a reason. He retired. But in the case of... Well, in the case of basically the other one... Now, in the case of Yuji, well, the character couldn't show up here. Well, he couldn't come back for 2 reasons. One, his character died in 5s. And 2, the actor himself basically... Well, the actor himself sadly passed away. Now, in the case of... Also, they changed Smart Lady's actress. Yes, the one here from the movie is not the same one from the show. Nope. They replaced her with a completely different actress. So the one who plays her is Amane Shindo. And apparently she's a fan of Kamen Tycoon, who was a character from Geats. I know that's a very popular one. And apparently this movie was actually her acting debut. She did a pretty good job for what she was doing. She doesn't do much, like in the case of the original actress. Now, could it be that maybe the reason why they couldn't bring back the original actress, and this is my possibility, maybe because the actress aged, because she's currently 44, but look at a picture of her on here, she doesn't look too bad. Yeah. Though, of course, basically, they kind of really brought back the actress who just in Ryoki, and but her last Kamen appearance actually was in Deno. I will be discussing Deno in the future, know about that. So, I'm guessing you want somebody young to be Smart Lady, so that's probably the reason why they bring her back. So, it's like, in a way, the only actors they brought back were the actor Batakami, Masato, Mare, and Kudo. Oh, yeah, and also Katsuki. They brought him back, too, except that he plays an version of the character. But those are only 5 they brought back. You're like, really? Nobody else? By the way, the cliffhanger ending where the Road King is alive, never resolved. Nope, never was. You're like, why? No idea why. Yeah, and also when the characters interact with him, they'll question like, wait, aren't you dead? Didn't you die? I'm sure the viewers probably ask that question until they find out what the heck he really is. Yeah, I think for a lot of people it was surprising he came back. So, Seiko, well, she made her last appearance in one of the GP stuff, but her actress herself, is she retired? No, she is still active. She's only 46. They could have brought the character back. She didn't die at the end of Fives. As for why they didn't bring her back, I don't know. She's not the only one. It was the same thing with Ichiro Takami. His actor survived Fives, no problem. And he is still active and acting. His most recent acting appearance in Kamen Rider was actually in Amazon's. Yeah, that's another one I question of why couldn't they bring him back for, because he did survive the events of the show, so I'm thinking like, why couldn't they bring him back for? Like, there's a couple of characters they brought back for the special. Heck, they could have brought back the Road King. Nope, they did not. So it's like, the premise of this movie is that the Rokai are being hunted by Smart Brain. Which is interesting because they were for the Rokai in the show. Okay. They do debut one new original writer here. They do a writer for him for a couple characters, but one new writer, Kamen Mendez. Yeah. Which is, let's see if I can show it off here. That's her. Yeah, it's a quite interesting look. It's got a sword. She had the first is blue, so I wasn't surprised about that. Also, they use the same helmet design for next Fives, next Coots. And their outfits are pretty much very similar. So, she goes to, well, we have basically this one Orochi who appears here. He looks like a freaking samurai, where he is being autopsied for reasons, because I think he's dead. So then he just wakes up, takes his organs back, transforms, kills the morgue doctors. Then he's killed by, of course, this brand new writer who's embarrassed to transform. By the way, we do see Katsuki in the movie, except that this is not the same Katsuki. This is Natsume Katsuki, who is not an Orochi. No, he's not. What he is not revealed later, and no one questions of why the heck this guy's alive. It is so baffling. Because I'm sure somebody from the original series saw this man die. And anyway, so yeah. So transform, destroy the thing, and then we see that there's a second shop, which basically is a Rochai safe haven, well, a sanctuary for them, because apparently, according to Takaro, Kudo, basically, he says that it's a good place to keep under control. So they hire a couple that work for his employees. He practically runs the place, and second shop to the cleaning store. Now, Masato is back, except he's got a choker. Well, there's a reason why he has it on, despite the fact in the miniseries he doesn't wear it. As for the miniseries of why he's alive, despite the fact he died, never explained. So basically, he's randomly back to the he died. Clearly, viewers can see. Oh, and he apparently decided to fool people, saying, "Oh, the cast never saw his ashes." The viewers clearly did, and it's implied that maybe Takaro maybe felt his ashes, but it's like, yeah. And by the way, Takame does not question why the heck he's back. He does not question at all. Like, I found your ashes, dude. Yeah, that is never explained. It's like it's like I watch me like something doesn't add up here, but at least basically like their show, at least they have a good poor plot thread here now. Now, so I'm like, oh, it's evolve evolution, and they want to kill them. Okay. Why not just help them? Why kill them? It's like, oh, he brought back the riot troopers. Yes, we brought them back here for one last appearance. Yep. And Takami has disappeared. Yeah, he went out for a walk, asked to get some mayonnaise by Mare, and then he disappeared. He apparently was gone for several years. How long? Never stated. I don't think he was gone for 20 years. No, I highly doubt that. If I was to take a guess, I probably think he was gone maybe 3-4 years at most. Also, at least this movie remembered, oh, his head was disintegrating toward the penultimate episode of the show, or was turning to sand. They at least remembered that, because it seemed like, though, that the show, when we get to the final episode, they completely forgot that plot thread. Also, the whole revelation, all the allies died. Yeah, that was a lie. Yeah, that was made up for. It's good they ignored that, because that was a stupid thing to write people who like fives. Yeah. So, yeah, and we see that Katsuki, this new version of him, is now the new chief of Smart Brain, which is back, despite the fact the place was shut down at the end of Fives. How it's back, they kind of explain that, oh, Japan's largest tech firm, despite the fact that it had not been active in years, they kind of state that the government contracted them to eliminate the rope tribe. Apparently they see him as a threat, which is interesting, given the fact that they never did in the show. This explains, like, kind of how in the world, basically, that they got here. Now, how they got back on their feet, despite the fact clearly the company went out of business at the end of Fives. It's never given it. It's like I watch this movie and there's like a bunch of stuff left, like questions. I'll talk more about it later. So, then of course Takami shows up later, attacks his friends. Why? never. Well, they do have a serum. They give him a serum to fix his cell degradation, which apparently it works because by the end of the movie, his body is no longer falling apart. Which that was nice. A smart man to do that. Either that, or probably that this felt like he wasn't working for them anymore. He probably either had a lot of the serum in his body, or two, he probably, when he may have basically, before he left the company, he may have stolen the formula or something to basically make the serum to put in his body. Also, the current Mendez, it seemed like she had a thing for him, but it's not very clear. It's like she's attracted to him, but it's like, no, he likes Mare. Okay. Yeah, it's like it's there, but so, and then she finds out, oh, because they mentioned the Ryoshi school, which I'm glad they brought that up here, like, oh, she could potentially become a Roppai, despite the fact it was in the show that the experiment was a failure. So what does she do? She kidnaps Marai and makes her a Roppai. Why? Yeah, that's a good question. Why did she do this? Oh, just so she can get back at Takaru for turning her down? Like, lady, you do realize, though, he is like 20 years older than you. And he's not interested in you at all. It's like, couldn't take the hint. For reasons, per se. Excuse me. Yeah, no explanation for this at all. So, and apparently this was made when they decided to make a movie that, oh, let's make it a Roppai. A Wildcat a Roppai. Yeah, this is a bit last minute decision making in the case. This one from I read. So, they had the first fight with the original Kutsukier, and then, of course, then he later kind of in a way helps out, and then he runs to Mara once again, like, I'm the hair ketchup, here's your mayonnaise. And, well, that's why he was in out that he was asked to get that for her, and he got it for her. A few years too late. Which, that does play a role at the end of it. Oh, I forgot to mention when it comes to the D4 movie, there was early on before they revealed that the chocolate out one was Takami for some weird reason. There was a little tiny motorcycle spying on the characters, and later on it was used by the fake Takami to become Fives before he was defeated. Excuse me. Yes. Then Takami debuts the next Fives form when you see him the first time, and also it seems like that Toguro, he has apparently grown some more facial hair over the course of 20 years because he is definitely, like, in a way, now I'm sure probably Japanese men do have facial hair like this. It just when I see the facial hair he has, I normally see that people who are Hispanic, not people who are usually Japanese. Japanese male, basically Japanese men, what I've seen, like, usually got full beards, or they may have a goatee, but a mustache, a facial like this guy has. That's something usually Hispanics usually have. I've seen. So, and then they just, let's turn into a Wildcat Roppai after they kill Delta. Yeah, they kill him, and they just leave his belt there. I'm like, what? Why the heck would I leave the belt there for? And they have Coots battling Mendez. Okay, that was really cool. Yeah, an older suit taking on the current suit. That was cool. But the Delta, like, they killed Delta. The current Kamen Delta in this movie. But they don't pick up his belt. Like, he grabs his belt and they disintegrates. Like, is the belt gone? From what I could tell from the scene, it seemed like the belt was still intact. I highly doubt the belt would disintegrate with the person. Because I highly doubt they would do that. The belt wasn't destroyed. It was knocked out of his waist like other times that basically they would. And they just don't bring it up again. It's like, okay, we don't have Delta anymore for reasons. And then, of course, basically, then when she goes wild, Mari is chased by Takami, who takes her to an abandoned school where, like, they finally met to love each other after 20 years. And From what I can tell, the way that the movie sets up is that these two have sex. Well, here's the thing. They're adults. It's perfectly fine. Though they kind of show what the erokai form. I'm sure probably kids are watching, so I'm sure probably fans probably can tell, yeah, these two clearly had sex, given the fact that Mare is later seen presumably topless under a bed sheet. And Takumi has got his pants on with a coat over his non-shirt. No, we're not wearing a shirt. So anybody can tell these two clearly had sex. Clearly did. And then, of course, Mendez shows up. Apparently not Barris anymore. And then allows him to leave. And then we see that Katsuki is here. And nobody... This is something I also question. Like, nobody questions of... Aren't you dead, dude? Did you die? Nobody questions at all. Mare doesn't say anything to this guy at all the whole movie. I mean, this is the man who his original form, obviously who he is in a minute, because basically it's quite okay. He's an android, yes, and she doesn't see the fact. Oh, this is the man in front of her. This is the man who basically killed her and her friends, and then they were revived as basically they murdered. Basically, this is the man who attacked her when she was younger. And do they bring up him? No dialogue exchange between two of them. I'm like, why? This is so baffling to me. It's great they brought back this character and they brought back this actor because the guy is a really good actor, but still, I'm like, what is this guy here for a paycheck? Because it seems like he didn't get a lot to do a lot of the time. He got good action beats. Oh, by the way, he kills Rina because she allows Fives and him to go, and of course she does transform into wolf or form because of course because he was revealed to be the wolf of Rochai in episode 34 of the show, and they do have the two fight alongside each other, and then he first is given his next Fives, and of course that's knocked off, and then Johto shows up with the original Fives belt, which is like, and of course. I'm glad the fact that Takaru does ask, like, who are you? Like, I'm Jotaro, I'm Kentaro's nephew. Okay, now, that dialogue exchange I actually liked because that was really good that he acknowledged, because he never seen this man before. In our case, he probably knew him for quite a while. So, in the case of Masato, oh yeah, he's actually an android. Yeah, when did he arrive? Don't know. And then he just crushes the original Cook's phone for some reason. And then we actually have next Kooks, and then you have Takumi versus Kooks. I'm thinking like Mirai has got the robot now, so she can easily transform into Delta if she wants to. And then presumably, after a big rider kick, Katsuki and Masato, the two robots, were presumably killed. That is until before the credits roll, when Masato was alive. Yeah, they brought back the android, so it was clearly destroyed. And now he's got the Smart Brain logo. Now it was originally on his neck, that's where the choker there. And now it's on his forehead for some reason. And now he's the president of the company. How the heck this happened is a complete mystery to me. And also Takumi is back home. He's eating with basically Kendo. Of course, they talk, oh, maybe shut down the clinic. No, basically Kentaro let them shop anyways. And, well, it's a nice little happy note, but I finished watching this movie, and I'm like, okay. First of which, Takumi does not question of, like, Masato being there. He does not say anything at all, which is weird. Also, he had the same Masato almost kisses Mari in the movie, and seems like Mari was going to be for it until a phone call interrupted him. Despite the fact in the show it's up any time that he would attempt to kiss her, she would just block him because she's like, no, don't want that. It's like whatever factor he had in the original show, it's like it's gone here. I do appreciate the actor coming back and playing the character again, the first character. I gotta admit, he did really good here. Takaru doesn't question why he's back. Or like, because he did find his ashes. Despite the fact he had to come, they didn't see his ashes. Takaru found ashes. But he doesn't question it. Doesn't question why the president is there, who clearly was a man who clearly died in the show. Yeah. It's like no dialogue exchange. And so I am like, it's a very interesting movie. I do enjoy it. The special effects are actually really good for 2024. So the questions I have, first of which, Macedo, when did he return? Yeah, I'm sure at some point he did return between Takumi disappearing and basically before present day. But when did he randomly show up at Mare's door? When did in-store did Kentaro decide to go on a long trip? When did he decide that, of course, though there is a behind-the-scenes reason why, because the actor retired. Where are the characters who survived the show? Where is basically the Robot King? They don't question what heck happened to that. It's like a lot of stuff is left unanswered. I would have thought with this anniversary they would have answered some question from the show, but nope, they did not. At least in the case of Delta, yeah, I get the fact that, well, the actor was available, but they could explain in story. They never explained in story what happened to him. Like, did he die at some point? Don't know. Yeah, it's like a lot of stuff is left up in the air with this in this movie. Like, when did the government decide to eliminate the Europai? They never did in the show, but I do enjoy the review of the cast, which was really nice. I would say the best things about the movie is new suits. I do like the new Katsuki's that version of the character, the one who's the android. I think he did pretty good for what he was given. He wasn't a lazy bum like he was in the original show. It seemed like, yeah, he just didn't care because he was the strongest. Here, he seems like more calculated. He's more smarter. He's out in the field. And he does all fighting for real. He was an android. I thought that was really cool. He become a writer was really cool because, like in the original comic part, he did become a writer both times, which, good for him doing that. Then in the case of the first one is because he actually the Delta belt. Here, he stole a belt from somebody else who he killed. But yeah, I give the movie a 8 out of 10. Yeah, it would have been good if, in fact, they basically explained some stuff. Yeah. But with that, basically, I'm done with Vibes. Completely done with Vibes. So, next video, Super Sentai. Okay? So, please like, comment, subscribe. Bye.